Here's our lineup today here on the Now. Ghost guns are getting new attention after a teen opened fire with one at a California high school. What's being done about these untraceable weapons? And with more power shutoffs or wildfires this week, we're getting answers on what your rights are with this for any type of weather event. Telehealth, it is popular, could be really helpful for seniors. We're going to check out some new medical technology that could be coming to your home.
All right, Chris, thank you. I'm Nicole Griffin, and you're watching the Now Indy. We begin now with the ongoing outrage over an Indiana University professor that is making national news. That professor is accused of sending racist and sexist tweets and has been condemned by the university's provost, but he's allowed to keep his job. ABC's Trevor Ault has the story.
An Indiana University professor is under fire, accused of sending racist, sexist, and homophobic posts on social media. The backlash began earlier this month when business professor Eric Rasmussen shared an article on Twitter that argued women may be destroying academia and quotes the article, writing in part, "Geniuses are overwhelmingly male."
For a professor that, especially at an esteemed place like the Kelley School of Business, to have those views and say them so publicly is really kind of disheartening and very, very disappointing.
In a scathing letter, the school's provost says Rasmussen, who has been teaching there since 1992 and has tenure, has pushed bigoted views on social media for years, including that women do not belong in the workplace, that gay men should not be permitted in academia because they're promiscuous, and that black students are generally inferior academically to white students. But despite that, Rasmussen will not be fired.
We're a public institution, and unlike private employers, we're bound by the First Amendment of the Constitution.
The professor is aggressively defending himself, saying he shared that tweet about women in academia because he thought it was interesting, not that he agreed with it, though he says he is proudly conservative.
You can't be a conservative and not have people find something you said that they don't like.
On his webpage, Rasmussen accuses the university provost of misrepresenting his opinions, though he does say he is on record as saying homosexuals should not teach grade and high school and refers to affirmative action as corrupt. Indiana University will now allow students to transfer out of Rasmussen's classes if they choose, and he'll be using a blind grading process to ensure there's no bias. But Rasmussen says the university is now encouraging bias against conservatives like him. Trevor Ault, ABC News, New York.
That sun is setting, and it is a beautiful one here across central Indiana as we look over downtown Indianapolis, and it was nice to see some sunshine here as we've been locked in the clouds for much of the week. Now, temperatures a little bit cooler, and as we go into December, there are some signs here with the updated outlook for some above-average warmth to return here to central Indiana. Of course, our average high just continues to get a little bit cooler. We'll go from 44 on the 1st to December 31st and New Year's Eve at 36 degrees. All right, temperature-wise right now, 30s and lower 40s, 41 in Indy, 38 for you in Greenfield and Crawfordsville, coming in at 37 degrees. Satellite and radar nice and quiet here across the Hoosier State. Now, as we look off to the south and west, don't have to go very far for some more clouds and even some precipitation, which will have an impact on our weekend forecast. But this evening, just a gradual increase in those clouds and temperatures on the chilly side, lower 30s through 10. Chris?
Today, the president says he would like a full Senate trial if the House votes to impeach him. This comes after 5 days of public impeachment testimony, and now that part is finished. So Maya Rodriguez is showing us where we go from here.
When the impeachment inquiry kicked off nearly 2 weeks ago.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth?
Truth became part of a political tug of war.
Lots of bombshells.
Louis Michael Seidman is a professor of constitutional law at Georgetown. He's studied the impeachment process since the Nixon years and says whether or not a crime was committed is not necessarily the point with impeachment.
The standard is not the criminal law. The standard is whether he is abusing the powers of his office and doing the job that he's supposed to do to make sure that the laws are faithfully executed.
Most House Republicans have backed Trump and don't appear to be budging.
The American people sent us to Washington to solve problems, not to wage scorched earth political warfare against the other party.
So now what? Based on all the testimony, the House Intelligence Committee will send any materials it collected and a report to the Judiciary Committee. The Judiciary Committee may hold its own public hearings or depositions. Those members will then decide if impeachment goes to the full House for a vote. Impeachment requires 218 members to vote for it. There are 233 Democrats in the House. If it passes, it moves to the Senate, where a trial is held with senators acting as the jury. There are 53 Republicans in that chamber. Removal from office requires a 2/3 vote there. Despite those numbers, Professor Seidman cautions against trying to predict an outcome.
It's just a fool's errand to predict with any certainty how this will end.
And whether or not that includes the removal of a sitting president. In Washington, D.C., I'm Maya Rodriguez reporting.
Maya, thank you. And the parents of the American man who died after being released from North Korea want that country to be held responsible. Otto Warmbier was in a coma when he returned to the United States, and now his parents saying today they want to shut down illicit North Korean business assets around the world. Warmbier's parents say they hope the Trump administration addresses North Korea's human rights issues. Let's get back to our lineup, and we are learning the weapon used in the recent deadly shooting at a California high school was a ghost gun. It is the latest case connected to one of these untraceable weapons. So we're taking a look at what's being done to regulate them.
Hurry in for Employee Pricing Plus.
Welcome back to the Now Indy. Big academic honors celebrated today at the Immaculate Heart of Mary Catholic School on the north side. The school was again named a National Blue Ribbon School. This prestigious honor was only awarded to 12 schools in the entire state of Indiana, and it is given for achieving academic excellence. This is the second time the school has won this award. Mayor Hogstad, First Lady Janet Holcomb, and Congresswoman Susan Brooks all helped celebrate with the students. Brooks told the students why this particular award was so important to the community.
The biggest reason you guys got this award is because of the students. It's because you work so hard, because you care about each other, because you built an awesome community of students who really care, not only about yourselves and your families, but your community.
In addition to Immaculate Heart of Mary, 5 other schools in central Indiana are also named Blue Ribbon Schools. They are St. Thomas Aquinas School in Indianapolis, Brownsburg West Middle School, also Mohawk Trails Elementary in Carmel, St. Maria Goretti School in Westfield, and Van Buren Elementary in Plainfield.
California recently passed a law that would make ghost guns traceable. Ghost guns are weapons that can be made at home with a kit and parts. Now, they don't have a serial number, and California's law would require owners to apply for serial numbers. It doesn't take effect until 2024. This law passing just before it was discovered the shooter at a high school near Los Angeles last week used one. Investigators say the shooter's gun did not have a serial number. He also had another kit at home to build a gun. Now, gun kits, they are legal. They're not assembled. It's okay to sell them without performing a background check on the buyer. Now, it's only illegal for the buyer to possess once the gun is built.
So at the time the parts are sold, it's legal for the seller to sell them with no background check. But as soon as they're assembled into an operable firearm, in many cases, if the person, again, is a minor or is a felon or a domestic abuser, again, it becomes illegal for that person to buy, to have the gun.
The ATF reports nearly a third of gun crimes in the Los Angeles area have involved a ghost gun, which is part of why California is taking action. New Jersey also passed a law related to ghost guns back in 2018. It bans buying firearm parts that don't have a serial number. Also bans using 3D printers to build guns or gun parts. It makes it illegal to distribute computer code to 3D printed gun. Thousands of people who signed up for a risk-free trial offer for skincare products are getting a refund. The FTC says the companies were selling the brands you see right here. They asked people to give their credit card information that was supposed to be for shipping issues and fees. Instead, they just charged them monthly for products they didn't order. The FTC is sending nearly 80,000 checks for about $23. All right, ahead in our lineup, this week, the power company turning off the lights again in Northern California, hoping to prevent its power lines from sparking wildfires. We're looking into whether your gas or electric company can do the same thing before a hurricane, maybe a blizzard.
At Ross, yes for less.
Let's start the Now News feed with a major oops for Tesla. Video's going viral of it. You've probably seen it. The windows of the company's armored truck cracking with a metal ball during a demo. It's trying to show just how tough it actually is, but it was built as bulletproof glass. Well, it appears Alexa and Siri becoming part of the family because a new Pew Research study found that more than half of smart speaker owners say please when asking for something. Researchers say women are the ones saying please more than men when it comes to the smart speakers. Well, a lot of people excited about Frozen 2. Take a look at these pictures here on St. Luke's Health System's Instagram page. This is out of Kansas City. Babies all dressed up like the characters from the movie, as that movie hitting theaters today. This is pretty cool. People on both sides of the U.S.-Mexico border are talking to each other through a unique interactive art installation.
Hola. Hola.
Oh, someone's there. Someone's just touching the sensor, and that's their heartbeat. And I can feel it with my hands.
Yeah, so you step up to a microphone attached to a searchlight, and when your light intersects with someone else's light on the other side, well, you can talk to each other or just feel their heartbeat. The creator of the exhibit, it's called Border Tuner, has created similar interactive exhibits all over the world. The one at the Mexico-U.S. border has been up for about a month, and it will end this weekend. This week, 120,000 people in Northern California went without power. Pacific Gas and Electric says outages were necessary to prevent possible downed power lines from sparking more wildfires. Usher Qureshi is looking into whether your gas or electric company can do the same thing before a hurricane or maybe a blizzard.
Last month, more than 2.5 million Californians were in the dark due to preemptive blackouts. Now, state regulators are investigating whether the forced outages were warranted.
Some people in California in October were out for 11 days straight without electricity. That is unheard of, unprecedented.
We did some research to find out what can and can't be done nationwide. Now, public utilities are regulated state by state, and what we found is that there's no federal law guaranteeing or giving you access to electricity or gas service. Generally, experts say in times of emergencies like hurricanes, earthquakes, and wildfires, some utilities can pull the plug on services in the interest of public safety, as was claimed in California.
But in California, they're only supposed to do it as a last resort.
That's not to say that customers don't have any rights. In some colder places, it may be against the law for utilities to turn off electricity or gas if you need them for heat between November 15th and March 15th, even if you can't pay your bill.
People only have the rights they fight for. That is how it's always been.
Investigators in California are looking at whether PG&E properly balanced the need to provide reliable service with public safety. I'm Usher Qureshi reporting.
Usher, thank you. It's a big night for high school football and Friday football frenzy. Several area teams are competing at semi-state. Among them are the Dragons of New Palestine. They will look to continue their recent stretch of dominance when they play host to Bloomington South. New Pal is unbeaten again this year and trying to repeat as state champions. Tonight's winner will move on to the Class 5A state title game. Our day first will be live from New Pal coming up on the news at 6. It is one of 8 semi-state games involving teams from Central Indiana. The others include the Class 6A showdowns between Ben Davis and Center Grove, and Carmel hosting Maryville. In the Class 4A, Mount Vernon travels to Evansville Memorial, and the state championship games are next Friday and Saturday at Lucas Oil Stadium. Here's a live look right now, Kyle, at New Palestine. It looks very nice out there for the game.
Yeah, we have got a beautiful sunset all around Central Indiana, and of course the stadium lights coming up there. If you are heading out to some of the football games this evening, gonna need to layer up because very soon those temperatures are going to be sliding back through the 30s already at 37 degrees in Kokomo. It's 41 downtown, 43 and clear skies in Bloomington. Wind has been fairly light throughout the day. By tomorrow morning, we're in the lower 30s, mostly cloudy skies, so the clouds aren't going to stay away very long. As we get to the middle of the day, some scattered rain showers. Temperatures will make their way into the middle and upper 30s. And as we head into the afternoon, may mix in a few snowflakes. We're not expecting any accumulations here, but here's TrueCast, 10:30 Saturday morning. There are the clouds, some of the rain showers moving through, possibly some moderate rain showers at times. And then as we get into the evening hours, especially around sunset, you start to see a little bit of that pink, indicating a light wintry mix. But then as we get into tomorrow night, that system will move out of here pretty quick. Second half of the weekend is looking better. We'll see a little more sunshine. Temperatures making their way into the middle 40s, and early next week we'll warm it back into the lower and middle 50s. Dry on Monday. Looks like rain is going to be pretty likely and widespread for us on Tuesday. We get into your travel day on Wednesday. Shouldn't be too many travel issues weather-wise. 45. Thanksgiving Day, partly sunny and 46. And for Black Friday shopping, got a chance for a little bit of a wintry mix there, and temperatures going to stay in the middle 40s. Chris?
Let's start the Now News feed. A former Boston College student pleading not guilty today to charges related to her boyfriend's suicide. Authorities say In Young Yu sent text messages telling her boyfriend to take his own life before he died. She's charged with involuntary manslaughter. Young people need to work out more. A new study by the World Health Organization says people aged 11 to 17 are not meeting current recommendations. Doctors say they need to do at least an hour of physical activity a day. Pennsylvania is set to become the newest state to make it illegal for people under the age of 21 to buy tobacco products. Only military veterans and service members would be able to buy at 18. The governor says he would sign legislation. This would include e-cigarettes. A unique 911 call out of Ohio, sparking a conversation about domestic violence. A woman called 911 pretending to order pizza while her mom was being physically assaulted. The dispatcher thought at first it was a wrong number, but the caller was so persistent, the dispatcher eventually realized what was going on and sent police. Now, ultimately, the abuser was arrested and both women were okay. But some police departments have pushed back on this fake ordering pizza tactic, saying that texting 911 is a better option. Claims have circulated on social media that dispatchers were trained to recognize takeout pizza orders as some sort of covert way of asking for help, but police say that's a myth. They're trained to keep asking questions in general to figure out what's going on. Now, another myth when it comes to domestic violence, experts say, is that calls for help increase over the holidays.
A lot of times people think that it's the stress of the holidays that causes domestic violence to occur more frequently. But domestic violence isn't actually caused by stress. It's caused by one partner's desire to gain power and maintain control in their relationship, and that is occurring all year long.
Now, you can take your phone and grab a picture of the number that you see right here on your screen, the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Anyone who wants help with an abusive situation can give this a call. Well, as you plan for retirement, researchers say it's important to not just think about our finances. Amy Taylor's here with how our personality plays into this too.
Chris, Texas Tech University researchers found that certain types of people will take out money more frequently from retirement accounts, including savings, 401ks, and IRAs. Now, it's no surprise that more organized and cautious people were less likely to withdraw money, but they also found that more outgoing people withdrew money less often. Agreeable people, as well as people who are often worried, nervous, or moody, were likely to withdraw money more often. Now, the bottom line is that more positive people felt less likely to take out money from their accounts. Researchers say financial planners need to keep these factors in mind and try to get to know their clients.
It's hard to know your client from one meeting. So over time, as you develop a relationship, you can get to know them that way. There are also very robust assessments that can be provided to clients.
Now, these assessments will ask about emotions and how someone has felt recently. And even if you can't meet with a financial planner, experts say just being aware of your personality will help you.
If you're in a position where you're pulling too much from your portfolio and you know that that is a hard area for you to scale back on, being aware of it can help you come up with strategies to help curb that behavior.
Financial experts do highlight that it's not bad to take money out of your accounts if it'll help pay for necessary things.
Annie, thank you. Next on our lineup, telehealth is popular, and it could be helpful for seniors as this technology is advancing. We're going to check out some of the new medical technology that could be coming to your home.